want to take a couple minutes, get back on our video series. We've got Dale Isaacson here. He's been a member here for, how long have you been a member here at Iron Legion?
2.5 years.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. What was your perception of what Iron Legion was when you started back 2.5 years ago? What did we look like from the outside world looking in?
Well, it's pretty intimidating if you start looking at all the people that are doing the Ironman workouts or the CrossFit workouts when you first come. I started off with the boot camp.
Okay.
My nephew's here working, and was talking to me about joining here, and so I tried boot camp.
Okay.
And,
great program.
Yeah. And I just was coming to boot camp, so I tried not to pay too much attention what other people were doing because I was trying to focus on that alone. So.
It's actually a good way to look at it anyway. You should always be focusing on yourself.
Correct.
Don't worry about what everybody else is.
Right.
So, when you were here, what was the thing, at what point did you realize that this was something different? That it wasn't what you perceived it as?
The first day of boot camp.
The first day?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you saw there was something a little bit more challenging, a little different, but doable.
Absolutely. It was very challenging initially.
Okay.
But I stuck with it and finished that 6 week of boot camp and then got kind of bit by CrossFit and just.
Now what got you to stick with it? So you say the words like I stuck with it. So what got you to stick with it?
I think the fact was that I could do this stuff, that I could actually do it. I could finish the workouts and pretty much keep up with everybody and
so
saw the improvement myself.
How old were you at the time when you started? Now we're talking about you're able to do the workouts, right?
Yeah.
You're able to complete the workouts. You're 74 years old.
73, I think. 73 I was.
73 when you started. And what was your body weight at that time?
260 pounds.
260 pounds. Okay. So now you've decided you're making it through the workouts. You're getting through. You're starting to commit to this thing. At what point did you really see some real changes start to happen?
I think during boot camp, I saw changes as I was going through boot camp. I saw the loss of weight,
okay,
and then the ability to do the work.
Right.
So the combination of those two things was very reinforcing for me and motivating.
Great. Yeah. So at what point did you feel like the coaches were actually did they have to step in, or you feel like they wanted to step in and help you out with the movements as we're moving through?
Well, there was only burpees. I think were the most difficult thing for me to do.
They're difficult for me, and I've been in the game for a bit.
Right. So with that that was the one I pretty much the coaches would push me the most on doing burpees.
Okay.
To complete them, and I know when I first did the test, I didn't complete all the burpees, and Sarah was the coach at the time, Sarah Games, and Sarah was trying to get me to finish those burpees, and I refused to do it.
Right.
At the end because I would have probably passed out or something. I don't know, but I just ran out of gas.
Sure.
So when at the end of the 6 weeks, we did the test over again. I did everything and passed, did all the burpees and with flying colors. So
with time left over.
With time left over, so that was a real positive reinforcement.
So there's an eye opener right
yes,
there. Yes,
absolutely.
So, and then we have, after boot camp, it's the evolution of the process, right? So you're going to continue your journey. So
right.
you decided that
right.
because of the boot camp, you could take on the CrossFit race, right?
And CrossFit started, and I started off in CrossFit Light or Fit for Life,
right?
Where it was a kind of a transition from boot camp into the full-blown CrossFit is that intermediate work.
Right.
And I did that for about 4, 5, 6 months maybe.
Okay.
And then started going into the actual CrossFit workouts of the day.
Which is what I just saw you in there doing today. You're in full-scale, full-blown CrossFit with the whole class.
Been doing that for now a year and a half maybe.
Yeah, and liking it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I see you jumping on team workouts on Saturdays. You're here pretty consistently during the week.
Yep. I come on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Saturdays if I can make it.
Cool. So what kind of successes have you seen?
Well, the biggest thing I've seen is the pretty much my weight loss and my drop in body fat.
Okay.
And between those two.
So what are we looking at numbers-wise there?
Numbers-wise now, I'm looking at my weight is about 214, 215.
It's quite a
my body fat content is 22.
22, where you started?
And it started at about 32, 31, 32.
That's significant.
So, had quite a large drop in body fat, and it's significant in terms of the before and after pictures as well.
Sure.
So, you can see where it all went. I mean, that 50, 60 pounds of fat is
turns
distributed
the
all over.
lean muscle.
Yeah. lean
Yeah.
muscle, yeah.
Heart's working a little bit better,
Oh
probably.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, I use a heart rate monitor, and I look at my graph of the day, and I'm working at 80 to 90% of my maximum heart rate during the workout.
Right.
Which says that no matter what I'm doing scaling, I'm doing the work.
We're doing it right. Right. So even though the coaches are working with you on scaling and movement based on mobility,
Right.
you're still getting the intensity in there.
Absolutely.
And working efficiently and safely.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And they're good at that. Coaches
Oh,
are doing
yeah.
that, and if
Excellent.
you're willing to commit to what
Yeah.
they're asking you to do, you're
Right.
going to see some really good success. As you
Yes.
can tell. That's cool. So what would you say? Do you feel like age or limitations are a factor here? Do you think that anybody could pretty much jump in and do these things, or?
No, age is not a factor, I don't think. I mean, certainly, as an older person, you're going to have less mobility and things initially. So you need to work. You need to come and commit yourself to doing the work, and then once you get the mobility, the flexibility, and your strength built up, then you start to be able to do the movements.
But being patient.
Yeah, you have to be patient with yourself.
Sure.
It's a journey for you.
Right.
It's an individual thing.
Absolutely.
So, we all work at our own pace. I don't compete with anybody but myself. I work at my pace. I scale the stuff for me with the coach's help, and then but what the coaches will be very specific about making sure you do the movements correctly.
Right.
They want to see technique and doing the technique right. So it doesn't make any difference, if I could do 500 pounds and do it wrong, I'm going to hurt myself.
Right. Absolutely. And that's the last thing any of us do.
Right.
Right. So what would you say to somebody that was out there in the position you were before you started, was considering making a change in their life?
Well, this will definitely make a change, but you have to make the commitment to do it.
Commitment's everything. Right?
And not be discouraged by not being able to do the work in the first couple of weeks or month or even couple of months. You have to give yourself time to adapt.
Right.
And then get that mobility and that strength built up, and then see where you're going. But but I think initially you do a body fat test to see where you're at. You check your weight, and then you start monitoring that over a period of time and seeing the difference, and that's a motivator.
All things that we can do here.
Yep. And
So patience and commitment are the
Absolutely.
two biggest things.
I
Right?
think
Being
so.
patient with yourself, being able to commit to a program,
Right.
whatever that program is. I mean, obviously we've got some great ones here that work really well.
Right.
But being able to commit and just do the process.
Absolutely.
Go through the process.
Absolutely.
I agree. So what's your future looking like now? What
Right.
What are you got? Have you changed some goals? Are you looking at new things? Or
I have. I changed the goals that I have are still pretty much the same, except I changed my targets. So now my target, I want to get down to 18% body fat.
Okay.
And around 190 pounds in weight. And I think those two will work together. I might be able to, I don't know, I could be 200 pounds at 18% body fat. Is that the right place for me to be?
Right.
Or do I want to try to get some?
But that's the fun part of the journey, right?
Yes, and
Yeah.
just keep working on that and then see, it's almost now we're talking, if I get to that point, now we're like fine tuning.
Right. We've turned fitness into numbers, and you're an engineer, right?
Yeah,
So you can
that's
start to
right.
tweak and play with the numbers.
That's right.
And you can kind of make it a little easier. Your nutrition
Right.
turns to numbers. Your fat content turns to numbers.
Right.
Your exercises are reps, right? So
Right.
those things are all numbers. So
Yep.
it's really
Yep.
kind of easier for an engineer, obviously, to get their mind around. But even for the layman out there that
Yeah.
pretty good with numbers.
Well, I know, and those numbers, they tell the tale.
Sure.
Really, I mean, and then the other thing to do is do the before and after pictures. I mean, take pictures when you start.
Right.
Even if you don't like hey, maybe that's what you really need is to see what you look like with just a pair of gym pants on, and see what your body looks like in like 3 views, and then say, do you like that look?
Right. And then do it a couple times.
Yeah, and if you say, man, I don't like the way I look, which was part of what the motivation was for me, and now doing it again, say 6 months later or 3 months later, say do it every 3 months, do those two things, check your body weight, fat content, and take pictures and start comparing those and see that the work that you're putting in and see what the results are.
Sure.
And that's a motivator.
Yeah.
That really, I mean, I got to that point now, I used to wear my Marine t-shirts, but I was like a beer barrel, and
Right.
and I didn't like that look, and I didn't represent that. I didn't want to wear those shirts because look like it again.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I would say that you're definitely you're on the right path. I'd say
I
keep
feel
on it,
like it.
and you know, we're gonna put this up on Facebook and YouTube. Feel free to get on there and throw some of those pictures up if you've got them, if you feel comfortable showing them, and help somebody else that's out there thinking about doing the same
Well,
thing.
I feel like it's been an interesting journey and been worthwhile, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's guys like you that inspire the hell out of me. So I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
well, thanks for taking some time with us
You're
today.
welcome.
Kind of telling some people
My
your
pleasure.
journey, and yeah,
All right.
good work, man. Let's
Thank you.
stay at it.